Rules of flow in construction, adjusting dosage. This concept is absolutely crucial when it comes to running a construction project because most of the time we have too many things to oversee. We're not doing it well, and that means that we have mistakes, we have rework, we have stops and restarts. And so by increasing the dosage or the focus on one task at a time, we can really start to do things right from the beginning, not have that rework, not have those stops and restarts, and really start to flow on our construction project. So if you want to know more about this topic and how to be lean and implement operational excellence, then you've come to the right place. The best way that I can explain dosage would be in this way right here. Let's say, for instance, that you have multiple things that you're doing and you need to do those well, right? But when you do these tasks, you're not spending enough time to actually finish them. So by the time you get down the line, instead of just having 2 left, you have 2 plus a lot of unfinished work, right? This results again in increased work in process above the capacity of resources, and that's a problem. When you increase work in progress above the capacity of resources, then you enter into a downward productivity spiral for a number of different reasons. But bringing out too many materials brings the 8 waste. Rushing and pushing and panicking really starts to confuse the human mind. Adding additional resources in the form of people or additional people above needed levels enters you into a downward productivity spiral because you have too many people with less production, right? And if you start working overtime, you fatigue your people and then they have rework, and then throwing money at the problem is not a good solution because there is basically no rewards. You're bringing out people, expediting, throwing money at a problem that isn't going to fix because you're still in a downward productivity spiral. So increasing the dosage, and this is a really important concept, so I hope you stay with me on this. Increasing the dosage of focus is really key. Let's say that we're looking at one of these tasks and we're looking at, what is the dose? Like if I'm going to receive a medication, right? What is the dosage? Like how potent is it, right? So if I'm doing this activity, there's the dosage of planning. There's the dosage of the work that we're doing. So I'll do this as doing or build, and then I'll put F for finish, right? If I'm trying to do a lot of activities and I have a low dosage of focus, a low dose of planning, a low dose of building it right, a low dose of finishing as I go, then that means that I've got a lot of work fronts open, and it means that I'm not finishing as I go. So this does tie into the other concepts of triage, getting rid of bad multitasking, and working in one piece or one process flow. But the bottom line is this: if you're coming along and you're completing this first activity, or actually working on this first activity, then the second, then the third, and you either have rework or you have unfinished area, right? Or you have additional process steps that you have to come back to, then that may mean that we're not spending enough time on the right things. And so here's the main concept. It is better to increase the dosage of planning, building, and finishing, or I would say your focus. I would also say probably energy, the energy of the team, to actually just doing one thing at a time than it is to just do more and more things with a low dosage of focus and energy and end up with a lot of rework and work in progress and a lot of open work fronts. The goal is to have as few tasks open that we have to come back to. Let me go ahead and say this a different way. Not only do we have these, like let's say rework, or we have to come back and fix something, or we have a process step that's finished. As we go through here, you can look at these like little ticking time bombs, right? Like if this is the point in time where we are, we will potentially have to come back to that activity, potentially have to come back to that activity, potentially have to come back. And the more of these that you have, right, you are not able to only focus on the things that you're supposed to be doing right then, you also have these little activities that are interrupting you throughout the day. Now, let me tell you what that would do to you on an individual level. On an individual level, that means you have 15 to 45 minutes each from a context switching standpoint. That means that you have interruptions here. That means you have an additional 1 to 4 hours every day because of the context switching and waste. And that means that you are distracted, not completing things on time, you are showing up late to your family, and you're not in a very successful situation. Now imagine that a job site's doing this. Actually, let's just scale this up. So those are the consequences for you. What about for a crew? How much does it take to dispatch a crew back to an unfocused and unfinished area? How much does it cost the project to go back and finish massive portions of work? How much, oh, this is a good one. How much does it cost a construction company to remobilize back onto a construction project that wasn't finished? And so we have a tendency in our current age, in our current environment, and I love technology, but with technology and everything that we have, all of the inputs around us, we have a tendency to provide a very low dosage to a lot of different things. And we've got to minimize that focus and do one thing at a time, to where when we, and actually let me draw it like this, to where when we are focusing on work, you know, maybe we've got 1 or 2 things that we have to go back and focus on, but not a lot, and we're actually able to focus on the work of the day, and we don't have these comeback areas beyond what would be unforeseeable or unfixable, right? We don't have any unnecessary rework and any unnecessary go-backs. And so this is a really, really bad thing. Here's what I want to do. I want to give you a couple of tips and tricks here. Here are some signs that you do not have the right dosage and you are accruing or accumulating a lot of unfinished work at the wrong dosage. Number 1, your work in progress is continually increasing, right? You have more things to go back to do in addition to the things that are planned for that day or week. Number 2, you might have an incentive system that actually incentivizes you to take on more work than you can actually possibly take. Like, let's say you're a manager and you're incentivized to take on more projects. And actually that's a really good example. Like, I've seen many times project managers get promoted because, oh, I can run 9 projects or I can run 15 projects. They're not running 9 projects. They're not running 15 projects. They're barely overseeing 9 or 15 projects not well at the expense of the team, right? So if you have incentives that say you have to put in this many pieces, you have to do this much work, you have to have this much product, or you have to have this many open tasks, that's a clear sign that you have the wrong dosage and you're going to increase work in progress. Another sign, this is sign number 3, is that if you have multiple iterations to get something complete, then you're probably not finishing as you go and you have the wrong dosage. Meaning that if you come to this task and you work on it, and then you have to come work on it again, and then you have to come work on it again, and work on it again. You have a lot of over processing. That means the dosage is wrong, and we need to start working more in one piece, one process flow. So here are some tips directly from Goldrat's Rules of Flow and some of their LinkedIn posts that I'm going to share with you right now. So first of all, if you like this content, please like and subscribe, because we have more videos coming that are talking about the rules of flow in construction. So just want to mention that real quick. So here we go. Number 1, clearly define what progress and completion means. So when you're actually going through these tasks, you'll know automatically if you have the wrong dosage of focus and energy from the team, if you're not meeting the finish criteria, if you're not done freaking done, if you're not meeting the definition of done like they do in Scrum. Meaning, like, if you're not meeting the criteria for what finish looks like, then the dosage might be wrong. Number 2, here's something that you can do. Focus on fewer tasks at a time. If you're finding it hard to increase the dosage, that means you don't have the capacity. So limiting how much work you have and having fewer tasks could be crucial for you. Number 3, if you have open tasks and they're not getting done, like let's say you're here on this one and you're just not getting done and you're tempted to move to the next one, instead of moving to the next one, increase your focus, increase your determination to get it done, increase the energy, increase your commitment to plan, build, and finish before you move on. That sets you up better for the future. And number 4, for these tasks that you might have out ahead of you, focus on full kit and full preparation, and make sure that when you have items that are in queue, that preparation is happening so that when you do get there, part of the additional focus and the additional dosage is the preparation that has already been done. And so this really applies to construction, not only with that PM example where you shouldn't be running too many projects, but again, we shouldn't spread a crew too thin. We shouldn't spread a superintendent too thin. We shouldn't spread a team too thin. And I'll tell you what, there's a lot of very large contractors right now that are getting by with great trade partners, but with very small teams where they have very low dosage, very low focus, very low energy, and they're not able to support the team. And it's really kind of a dumpster fire, and they're just getting through on the backs of trade partners. And this is the concept that they would do well to understand. So this is so important. Not only do I hope you like and subscribe, but we're going to turn this into a Canva graphic and a blog post. I really hope you're able to implement this in your work. If you want help and you have a specific example and you haven't made the tie, just comment in the comment section below and I'll reply to you. I hope you've enjoyed this video. On we go.